Hello, hello, hello! Welcome and well met. Welcome to the stream. Today is part 3 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles here on the channel. We are on case 2 now. So we're still on adventures because Chronicles is made up of, well, the Great Ace Attorney adventures and then it's Resolve. Yeah, that was it. Not Resolve isn't finished, but Resolve is, that is actually the sub name. It's 2 games in 1. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, I got it at the ready. Epic music, woo. Okay, I think I need to adjust my own volume for myself. Ah, okay, not that loud. Accidentally blasted my 4 ears. Alright, I'm pretty sure it's gonna drop in the opening cutscenes and stuff. So let's get into it. We're in for a time. Cause this is my second time playing through this. First time ever streaming it, but second time playing. It's been a bit, so I've forgotten things. But let's get going. Actually, little buddy should probably... Vamos. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
I like that that's narrated. Okay. I think January. Okay. You know, I don't think I ever mentioned, but I think the first case actually does take place in 1898, because this one takes place in January. Oh, hello.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way.
Sounds like her.
This would appear to be a knock-through mystery.
I don't even know what.
In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait!
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What?
I don't think so.
Don't be absurd. This is murder. An cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
In this house, we appreciate one eccentric detective. I forgot he kind of sounds like Herschel Layton, and I just kind of botched all the words, but I was trying to say he sounds like Professor Herschel Layton. Also, hello, Farouk. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. This is gonna be fun. Oh, gosh. I'm not sure how long this is gonna take, but we'll see. Right. Oh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in there. Ew. Nice. It went from black and white and now it's colored. That's a nice little touch. Wait, I can't move. Heck, what the? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Ah, no, it's you. Okay, I thought that was Susato. Nope, it's a sailor. There's a lot of nice details. Like, there really is! We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. Wait, no, you have a... Your little bloops and bleeps sound a little more, like, gentle. I don't have a rough voice. What kind of voice am I gonna give this person? You know what? I'm talking normally. I don't think they show up too much. Do not believe you couldn't... Wait. Do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You... You found me then. Da. We found you. And now you pay. Criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, Ugh, sorry. Now that you have been found, it is your time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I can tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Is that... Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato! Wait. What did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Ha! You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer, and do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please. Don't try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! Inosuke gets accused of murder and now Kazuma's dead. And he's accused of murder. His best friend. Yeah, when I was worrying there was gonna be heartbreak and stuff, this is why. This is both and isn't a fun case. We get the silliest detective in the world, but Kazuma is also dead. This chapter is a roller coaster. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? We won't get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else would you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they bought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. Sorry, I know this case like I always getting blamed for murder. Does he get blamed for murder any other time after this? I need to think. I don't think so. But it happens twice. Yeah, seriously, this is one. It's always one heck of a way to start. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. You confine yourself to my cabin here. I don't expect anyone will discover you. Look, I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotova, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point? Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? Don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. Won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? And I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. Only been at sea for about 15 days. Can this have happened? We're supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at the next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make trouble. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer? No, I'm not a murderer. You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please tell me what happened. I need to know. Yeah, the music's really good in these games. Very well. There's something I would like to ask of you, too. Look at those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Kazuma's dead. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. No response at first. And these handcuffs. You think I did it? Think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been someone inside this cabin. Do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. Oh, did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you'll have to tell me. The cause of death is still still undetermined. I don't know how he died? The ship's doctor's examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis expert. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. Well, incident. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably, that's something you would know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... Silence for Sato. He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried. So I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. The white tape there shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. It's all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. And I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. My head feels so heavy. Still throbbing like anything. Stowaway. Why are you even on board the ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why did you want this? What's the real reason? I go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me into England with you. Oops, Kazuma. Ah, the Kazuma theme! It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Oh, yes, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. I never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, center of the world in many ways. Can't be harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. On a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Eh? Kazuma. I like his theme so much, but it's also sad right now. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. He wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. Look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san. I'm sorry we kept it a secret from you. I'm stowing away on this ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expected he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Last night. You're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. It's just gonna keep playing Kazuma's theme, isn't it? I kind of expected it to change by now, but nope, we're just getting Kazuma's theme the whole time. Cool. And then I got myself... What was that? And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I... fell asleep? Oh yes. So deeply you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed. Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I woken up, perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. The trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Ugh. Yep, scene transition. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Eric, I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life. And how and why they did it. So I'm sorry. You're going to have to excuse me. Yeah! Susato's not a pushover. What the? That was a Susato takedown. Kazuma seems back. You got flipped onto your back, Ryonosuke. Which apparently was epic enough that we got Kazuma's theme back, and I can't help but laugh. Oh, goodness me. Susato, what art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. There's some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Kazuma will stick this over the doors of the wardrobe for me. It says keep out in Japanese, though I'm not sure the Russian crew can actually read it. It's probably this, because this was still on the wardrobe like we saw on the cutscene. So, presumably, Ryunosuke wouldn't be able to go out of the wardrobe and have this still stuck on it. So, yes! Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. And naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah! Yes, of course! The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. If I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. More silence. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Poor Ryunosuke. Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. Does she think I am a magician? Nope. Getting to investigation music. For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. Wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examining everything I can. Kazuma, swear. I will avenge your death. Hello. We're gonna look around first. Oh, no, that's... Oh, I'm on converse. That's not examine. Okay, that explains why you went to that. Okay, is it this? It says I can move over high. Oh, okay, but the directional pad. Okay, I'm like, which button do I push to look over? Look at that. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator. That's what it is. Looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air in the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so the rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough or something like that. I suppose maybe that's it. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Yes, that's not good. Oh, this is when they say the change scene mechanic. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? No, I figured it out on my own. Okay, yeah. Okay, now let's... Okay, it was just game mechanic dialogue, so I skipped that. Now let's investigate all the corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I'm so tempted to do every time I see the word yes, I keep wanting to go, hi! As in H-A-I, as in the Japanese word, who put them in Romanji. I guess it... Would hi be written in katakana? It wouldn't be kanji, would it? Kanji is usually just, nouns, so person, places, and things. For the most part. Yeah, I guess they have more vague ideas are also in kanji often, but yeah, I think height is written in katakana. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by pondering. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. No, I figured that out immediately. Can I look at the bed? I think it's this. Is that on the wardrobe? It's some 2 weeks since we started to... Yeah. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. Oh, now they're both sad! No! Oh, right, there's a little check mark when he finds it. What is this? Hello thing. This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read it about in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. And speaking tubes, which if you don't know what that is, I suggest just looking it up. Having visuals to go along with the explanation would probably help, but yeah. Really? That sounds almost magical. Thinking. Just both thinking and quiet. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the entrance of cultural research, obviously. These two. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just everyone is busy, that's all. They're both sad. Oh no. Okay, we have the desk here. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. The Which means what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. Could be a valuable clue. Yeah! So it's not that flipped him over again. That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Silence. Alright. Don't read it. Oh. Kazuma-sama. Don't like prying into people's personal matters either. In this case, isn't the need for clues more important? He's just thinking to himself, by the way. Yep. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's investigate the outline. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot down from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, wasn't he? Was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Oh! Shlomes? I forgot this is how you show up during the investigation. I remember my first time playing through this. That happened, and I had to put the game down for a moment and laugh because I'm like, seriously, man, get off the desk! And I just remember yelling at my Switch, telling him to get off the desk. And I'm having a similar action even now. I forgot you did this. Get off the desk, you idiot. Ah, that's one way to introduce a person's personality. Alright. Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is, or how he got in here. He looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall! Susato's shocked. Naruhodo-san! Don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. The fact that he's on a desk? Like, curled up with his knees on the desk, looking over at the door. Seriously, Shlomes, what are you doing? Actually. Mr. Shlomes, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to accomplish here? And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san almost look uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expected that you noticed already, but just in case... Nope. Play game. Okay, yeah, if I want to talk to a person, I push the A button on them. Alright then. I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Suspiciously tall gentleman. Can I just ignore him? Okay, no. Shlomes, get off the desk. Feet on the ground, sir. Excuse me. He's quiet. Excuse me. Do you have a moment? Shh. It's a critical... Yeah. Actually, He sounds slightly... I wonder if they have the same voice actor. I need to check this. But, oh gosh, how am I gonna do his voice? I just heard it. How am I gonna do this? Maybe I should start doing Professor Layton lines. Maybe then I can get the voice, because they do sound a lot alike, at least to my ears. How am I gonna do this? I really don't know. Let's see. Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. That's not quite right. I'm just gonna have to try a bit. If his voice changes a bunch, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe I should leave... Oh wait, no, this is Ryunosuke. Okay, it's not Sato talking. Whoops. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Oh. Hello there! Oh. Wait, what did he say? Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. Ah! What exactly are you doing on Kazuma's desk? Oh, wait. What are... words. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Quiet. Hello. Googles. Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. A train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive, and just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, was venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really most elementary deduction. Hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. This guy's what's going on? You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake. Now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. more startled. Ryunosuke. And when the wait, hold on, what is this word? The plot likes to go right over this man's head. Yeah! Wait until some of the others... I don't even know. This man is very smart. But he's also very dumb. I love him for it. Okay, but... Let's see. Be ribboned? Occupant of this... Be ribboned? I guess that's the word? Okay. And when the beridden occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Oh, right. One of the crewmen had, like, two-toned skin, so I guess it is be-ribboned, because it's meaning stripy? Oh, there's so many words in this game where I'm just like, question mark?
He's got a ribbon on his head.
Oh, thanks, Twinny. No, Savaria's just like, no, you idiot, he's meaning Kazuma. He has the Hachima. I'm missing a syllable. It's Hachi's 2 syllables. The ribbon he has tied, the red one. And every time I think about it, I'm always like, Yukimura! Anyway, that's neither here or there. Anyway, getting sidetracked. Words are hard, man. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Oh, I'm sure they don't, but I don't know how you piece together the facts as it were. Methinks he needs to be a bit more grounded. He's a bit too what is it? Head in the clouds. Just to be clear, you're talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. You see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. Even Susato. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution too. Shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way I... And on the floor he goes. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. And the music kicks in. Oh dear. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary. Obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came to your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What makes you... Yeah. Let me try this again. Ha! There you have it, you see? Do you make of that, Oh, what do you make of that, Well, to be honest... The ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed. And observe, my dear boy, is the oh wait, not observe. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Ah. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. Goggles are out. None other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes. So, it's really you? The actual Sherlock Sholmes? The very same. Stop saying words that are hard for me to say. The inimitable, actual Sherlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. Also, you know, I'm going to take a moment to address the name. Obviously, this is Sherlock Holmes. They just had to legally distinct his name. Except that's not the only thing. That's actually not the end of the story. It's not just a modern thing. People swap the first letter of the name Sherlock Holmes and got Sherlock Sholmes. Well, more or less. But there's actually some history. You see, another author, Marlise Leblanc, who wrote Arsène Lupin. Yeah, that Arsène Lupin. if you know of that phantom thief. You know, the grandfather of all gentlemen phantom thieves the world over. Well, he was a contemporary of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of Sherlock Holmes's stories. And, well, he was like, I need a good detective for the story. Well, why don't I just use Sherlock? He's recognizable, and, you know, people would immediately go like, oh, the fact that Arsène Lupin can go toe-to-toe with Sherlock Holmes just shows how much of a great a phantom thief that Arsène Lupin is. You know, it's just basically shorthand writing skill. Let's go. Let's immediately put in perspective with using familiar characters. Well, of course, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle didn't like that Sherlock was being used. And we looked at LeBlanc. It was just like, can you not? And so LeBlanc went, all right, fine. Okay, so this is my totally original character. Do not copy, do not steal. Herlock Sholmes. And it made him a bit more goofy and eccentric. And that's why when you see Herlock Sholmes, it may be that it's just legally distinct Sherlock Holmes, but it also could be Arsène Lupin's Herlock Sholmes. So there you go. There's your little history lesson. And given how goofy eccentric this man is, I'm honestly more inclined. Well, there's very much references to like both. Like he's both Sherlock Holmes proper, because there's definitely allusions to that. But then there's also the more goofier, eccentric side you get in the Arsène Lupin story of Herlock Sholmes. And we get this lovely goofball. So there you go. Absolutely delightful, yes. You get centuries old drama from two old authors. Anyway, back to the Great Ace Attorney. Okay, yeah, I read this. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Sweats bullets. Hello there! I want to finish looking out around the room though, so I'm gonna ignore you. For now. Okay. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they're all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked, and everything mowed down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training. Do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps... it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. The way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder. Zoom in on the shelf. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Everything's back up. Ooh, what is this? Thing on the wall. Actually, I think I could read warning off of that. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Burya. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry, I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. He took that in relatively stride. You know, come to think of it, like, everything's fallen over in this direction. Like, the books were. Not that you can tell that now because I cleaned it up, but, like, this is fallen over this way. The plate looks like it's fallen off the table this way. That's probably Kazuma's sword. What is this? Scuff mark and a pink thing. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Natsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. Natsuke is, you might see it on people's obis as a little decoration. It's, how do you put it? It's essentially kind of like, the only thing coming to mind is like a safety clip. It's a holder of a sort to keep your cord around your waist so you could hang things off the cord. Or like, a bag. They were often decorative. I suggest looking it up. Just to get an idea of what it is. But it does kind of... I do get what she's meaning. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has sort of a brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It's the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Door. And I went for help and the crewmen forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy. You just tried to cross the door to secure the door shut. But still, the door bolted. There'd be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. She's glaring. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. Hey there. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from the outside the room in a situation like this. Book from sleep. Oh, I do. I guess this is a good time to point out, because she did that. Those long flowy sleeves of hers were in actuality. It's called a furisode. This because of the long sleeves. At least I think you can find similar outfits. Furisode. Even though she's wearing hakama over her furisode. Anyway, point being, the sleeves were used as big pockets. That's the point I wanted to make. So her taking the book out is accurate. That is the thing people would do. Store in sleeves. I've actually worn a kimono myself, well, a furisode myself, and I have stored things in the pocket. It is actually very convenient. I stuffed a whole umbrella down one of the sleeves one time. Not the collapsible kind, but like an actual, like, paper parasol. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Besides my little... Seriously. It's just not a stream of mine if I don't point out every little factoid that I keep gets any kind of relevancy. Oy vey. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. The door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. Glaring again. And she glares at me like that. Feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Aww. I'll talk to the dude after I talk to Shlones, but I want to investigate the cabin more. Saigi. Is it Seigi or Saigi? I'm not sure. The Japanese word for justice. Brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy was always a reflection of his heart. Yet you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? She's glaring again. Though you stowed away on this ship? Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. Okay, sword. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. I suppose it shows how important it was to him. And now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Not. Now they're both sad again. Oh. Knife. It's my dinner from last night. Our roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? Not a dog, Susato-san. Ate it on the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So we didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? Oh, she's so sad! This is too horrible. Ugh, now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Poor Naruhodo. Okay. There's nothing on this table at all. There's a tablecloth. Plates and the cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? It's funny, I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No. Oh, poor Ryunosuke. Okay, is that everything in the room? Do I want to go talk to Herlock? Can't look at the ink. Oh, I can look at the trunk. Again? Didn't I look at that? Oh no, I didn't. It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah yes, I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. In hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. Turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. No, it is not. Also, please do not stow away. A lot of times the luggage is put in places not fit for humans to be. It will get overly hot or overly cold to the point you might die. Please don't stow away in luggage. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. He's thinking. He did not say that out loud, but he's thinking it. He's sassy man. Okay, is that everything now? Okay. Now I'll talk to Herlock. Hello there. Great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Schlomes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? Her as in like, was it something called an honorific, or is it like Mr. and Mrs. or those honorific? No, it's not honorific. Her in German, if I remember correctly, is like, sir? Or like, I think, more or less, something along those lines at the very least. I don't really know German. I know like 1 or 2 words, that's it. No, I have no her. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Schlomes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rant's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interesting articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I've it sent from England especially. Ah, yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Schlomes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. You've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective? Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? One goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I'm trying to work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Both. Both are good. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A fugitive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. You would love Apollo Justice, sir. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. Some things are just hard to say when I'm doing voices, oh my gosh. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. You were not very correct in it. At least as far as Ryunosuke is involved. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn for both for observation and for deduction. And fame. Humble, are you? That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Schlomes. He's very proud of himself. This goofball of a man. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the greatest detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Schlomes. How many times are you gonna say your name? Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. Says Ryunosuke as he holds up his handcuffs. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, getting entry to the scene of the crime. Yes! Luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Shlums was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Arrgh. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? It's... Oh my gosh. Two facts, your deduction right now. Let's do with the two facts first. Mr. Shlums, please tell me, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Shlom. Makes you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. I don't know how to read Russian, let alone pronounce it. But he's saying a Russian word. Please look at the screen if you're not. But it's that. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, you may find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered garderobe maybe the name of the killer. Certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Watching all that up. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Why are you getting everything wrong, sir? Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. I mean, I know they're based on foreign clothing, I'm pretty sure, these particular uniforms. But I don't believe them to be Russian. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Can I have that? Kazuma... This was taken oh wait, no, this is Shlump. Oops. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, thank you. Paragraph is in our court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Shlomes? What, pray? I want to say pray tell out of habit. You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary, fleeing from Russia. All that. Ah, yes. The train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Again, I can't read Russian, let alone know how to pronounce that. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian. I don't speak Russian. Same! Okay, your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma Russian? It sounds like Mr. Shlomes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who had killed the very man who helped him escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No. How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Ah, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah, yes. The journalistic clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is that anyway? Like somewhere between Turkey and India, I think. Yeah. That's that stretch of the world. This Afghanistan place. You know, I need a break of drinky water. Drinky water break. And probably a stretch break. I probably don't wanna stretches. I've been sitting a while. Need a stretch. Need to get a drink of water. Small sips. I guess doing a bunch of voices all at once is really hard. I'm also having trouble doing them because I'm like, my voice is getting worn out. Sorry. Might actually have to end this a little early. This keeps up. My voice could use the break. I've already come to the conclusion anyway that it's going to take longer, much longer than I thought to get through all of this than I was thinking initially anyway. Unfortunately. I don't do very long streams at all. Anyway, let's get back to it. Let's see. Here, take the paper for yourself. And a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. To observe all there is of interest to me within its pages, I see no rubbish bin nearby. Just gonna throw it away. Got a newspaper. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Okay. Shloms is giving hints for some reason. What you were just investigating. Oh yes, because he was on the desk. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Oh wait. Kazuma? Ah yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. Oop. Yay, Kazuma theme! We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. The London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic! And something you ought to perhaps for crying out loud. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've already... You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, I believe it or not, I do know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. You're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato's not reacting. Susato-san, aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear that the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, banzai, mikado, nado. Trust you're suitably impressed. This diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can read precisely none. And now he's laughing. So, what was all that showing off before, then? If you would be so kind to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Shlomes. Much obliged, my dear madame. Final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? Wait, is he upside down on the desk trying to read the diary? Like, doing that would help him understand? You know, given how Shlomes is, I can see it. I can see that being the reason why he's upside down. He's like, is this writing upside down? Shuffles onto the desk. Is this upside down? Can I read it better upside down? Or he's just being a goofball. Oh, jeez. I don't know why he was on the desk. I mean, for crying out loud, if you go back and look, he's not even in a position where he can read the diary. He's like looking under the little fold out. Well, here, let me scooch down for a second. He was looking under the little fold out of the desk here. He wasn't even looking in the right place. So I was just like, what in the world are you doing, my man? Okay. These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Is that pronounced just grill? Or is it grille? I think it's just grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilation grill, you say? The man was presumably referring... Nope. Yeah. To the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Oop, that was bad. That wasn't the right voice. We got Kazuma's diary. Oop. Oh, that seems like it's all from Shlomes. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. You say that, Shlomes, but I know for a fact you barely ever stop moving ever. In fact, even when you're supposed to hold abundantly still, you still manage to have trouble with it. Oh boy. He's a treat. Oh, I suppose. Thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilation connects to? Oh boy. Ooh, sorry. Big yawn. The ADHD is strong in this one. Yeah, this man, I like him so much. But he is a handful, and just the long and short of it, man is a handful. Man is very smart. Man is he just... He's very scatterbrained too. But he's still a fan favorite. Yep. Hardlock Shlomes here is definitely one of the fan favorite characters of the series. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a popularity contest if he ranked first, or at least in the upper 3. Would not be surprised in the least. Anyway. Whew. I'm getting sleepy. And that's making it hard to do voices. Oh goodness. Anyway, so must press on nonetheless. Let's see. The great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exhilaration. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No. It'd be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wish should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. The one who decided it decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. Silence from Ryunosuke. Fair. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you're clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Shaloms, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I'm beginning to think Shaloms is just very bad at speaking. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So what? We're looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway. That was then, this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Ha 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 ha! Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes. Just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san! What are you just standing there for? You must go investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way... Just... Yeah! And he gets flipped over. After Kazuma spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just gonna roll over and accept your fate? I believe you are doing the rolling over for him, Susato. Gave me any joints in the rolling over parts. Poor Naruhodo. I think we have still some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me. There's still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. And bring the real culprit to justice. Yep. Is that... Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no. It's just that crewman standing by the... Why am I rolling my R's? Just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help but feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? What can I do for you? He's so... Hosonaga! I recognize that face, but it can't be. It's definitely Hosonaga. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. So stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board this ship. Again? You certainly seem to be enjoying undercover work, Inspector. You miserable bow. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Hosonaga, for crying out loud! You need to go see a doctor. No, oops. Special orders. So, what were your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed like as a member of the crew? He's just quiet. It's a little bit. I'm so sorry. Hmm? This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. Oop. It was the Minister of Justice, Jigoku, who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning till night, every day. I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. Everyone's sad again. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. Mission to investigate. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Hosanaga. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example. I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how. There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when you were... It's just the same as when you are in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Okay. Game mechanic. Present things to people in an aforementioned way. And choose some evidence that Inspector Hosanaga could use. So, evidence would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin. Door cabin, is it? Alright. Yes, I think I might know what we can use. See if I can present the detective with evidence he needs to persuade the captain. What evidence do you want me? It's not gonna be... This is the diary? Oh yeah, speckled band is dangling from the ventilator. Maybe? I guess it's the... Converse... Okay, yeah. Oh. Okay. Let me... Okay. No, it's not in this menu. Where is the one that's... I'll look the court record, but it won't let me check. Oh, maybe an examine. No. There is a certain... Oop. Oh, there's the present button. If I read the last one in the thing. Okay. I think it's this. Oop. You want this, Hosanaga? What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. Almost said Professor. That ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes. As long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? Coughing. I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. It's the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Okay, and the move button. Use move to move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Hello. Talk to this dude. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it is not true, I see. Sorry. A criminal asking prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. I'm in the middle of the sea. No chance of me escaping. Yet! You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. Alright. There's no point in trying to appeal to this man's better nature. That's for sure. Can I show him? Okay, maybe... Okay, there's no more dialogue for that. I can leave now. First class passage. Oop. Oh, there we go. 9th of January, 7:48 a.m. SS Buria, first class cabin passageway. Whew. Finally out of that cabin. Have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on the study tour by the government. That's why it was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in this... Oh. Steerage? Really? It must be awful. Oh! Look over there. It's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. A bit of a drink. Actually, is there ambient noise? Hold on. It sounds like train tracks clacking. Is that just me? Okay. More water consumed. Alright. I hear nothing. Maybe I have my head, I think I have my headphones up higher then. Maybe I'm probably too loud. But no, I turned it up. No, it's chugging. It's probably chugging of machinery because it's a steamship, I would imagine. Alright. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. Oh, loud. Ow, my ears. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs? Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd been used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know. But the thing is... I wasn't inside Kazuma's trunk. I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please, do not give me that pitying look. I'm not doing very well with the accent anymore. It's veered off to something weird. Okay. Okay, if I try going into... Because that was the door they came out of, I think. Let me look at it. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin, it's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin in the steerage is number 539, by the way. 500 and... How many cabins are there? A lot, evidently. Can I go in here? Examine the door. This is it. This cabin next to ours, one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Hello. This is Sailor Man. Oh, no words. Excuse me. There. Excuse me. We, need to get inside the cabin here. I'm thinking the sailor's saying no. Does not look pleased. The sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out. That's what I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Although, this man's vision is definitely more effective. Doesn't look like he's going to let us pass. That's a problem. Fire alarm. What do you think this is? Very pleasing shape, isn't it? Oh wait, isn't it? Wait, was it? Isn't? Oh no, he said pleasing. Okay. That's an emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to complete stop. Oh. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it! But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these cuffs! You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be even worse you'd be in an even worse situation. That was hard. I wish everything would just stop. Ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make something that doesn't affect everyone else. Or at least make it doesn't... Oh wait, is there something behind me? Yeah, there is. I remember correctly. Nope. Okay, we'll be back. Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that is what is called cheese. And it's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But... I suppose you're right. You weren't actually gonna try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Who are you? I'll find a little snack for you later. Susato just being very nice. This looks like a plan of the SS Burya. It shows each deck. Look! The Burya is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now. Actually, but... how is that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. Is it? Well, considering the Japanese archipelago... the islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth. Many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. That's not how islands work. And there's a blue book. It's a huge book on top of the table there. There's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. I wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. The sailor's just quiet. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure the rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san. Even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Quiet. She's just thinking. Out the door. That's the way to the second-class area of the ship. Is something wrong? I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, a burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Yosuke doesn't have anything to say to that. Oh dear. I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. No, I started it with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. Okay, hello, Sailor Man. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer? That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm sorry for troubling you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class lady's maid? Rude! Oh. We seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san. I'm not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman, Bill... Is that Stroganoff? Stroganoff? Whew. Best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Oh, I actually talked to him. Okay. First class cabin area. Mr. Stroganoff. About this first class cabin area. Here we are in finest part of Burya steamship. They're very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I always guarding this place. Oh, am always guarding this place. Gosh, that is amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you? If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied? Ja. I can read that. Susato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. Genius. Is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Oop, passenger next door cabin. Would you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? I just noticed his little ascot. A neck handkerchief. Tie. It looks like a fish. Fishy, fishy, fish. His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He's a very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman. Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with the murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is an authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Okay, last night. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? I think that's hit. Or niet? I'm not sure. Susato-san, do you understand that? It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises? Or sense anything was wrong in some way? I said no! Sorry. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Yup. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It's time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain, or as the English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand. Oh. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. To the door? That's the only thing he interrupted with. Oh, I can just barely get over to the door. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one where the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe who's ever in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Knock, knock. Who's there? No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside. Oh, hi, Shlomes. I'm ready to break down the door down. Mr. Shlomes! I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Shlomes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how in the deuce can I dispatch this muscle urge? What, pray, can I kick? I love you, Shlomes. I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Here we go. I think it's gonna be 9th January, SS Bruria, first class, cabin number 2. Hello there. Who are you? A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True. This old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who'd just scream? Get out! All of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe? Yes, that's me. And you are? I'm the one and only, the actual Herlock Shlomes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm the great detective among great detectives. One who adores the covers of a popular magazine, no less. So I assure you, you must trust me completely. Oh, you may trust me completely. A man uses that magazine like a business card. Yeah, he does. A detective? I do not trust detectives. Well, we distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. There wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. Oh. Trunk is moving. Oh my. Did you just see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. The case just shook. Leave, now. Otherwise, I'll call the steward. So, this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsley Roylott. I got scissors. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Hello? We're not leaving. Mr. Roylott, we'd like to talk to you about something. No. Oh. I do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now. Oh, this is going terrible. We're not getting anywhere here. I agree. There must be someone else who can help. Shlomes, what are you doing? Shlomes, what are you doing? Perhaps the great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. Shlomes, get out of the wardrobe. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Shlomes? You need only address me as Shlomes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Shlomes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed. I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of deduction into service. Oh! And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no. Actually, you're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Miss Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please! Well then, what you're about to see may well astonish you. For I'm about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. How many greats are you gonna say? I need some water again. Okay. Give me a moment before we get into this big chunk of dialogue. I need to take a bunch of small sips or else it doesn't really help my throat. Give me a moment, I'm sorry. It just takes me a bit of time to drink something. Because, you know, small sips. Okay. Should be good for a little while longer. I should have gotten myself some, like, hot milk or something beforehand. I have a thermos. I could have filled that up with something warm to drink and that would have helped better, but I forgot to do that. Oops. Anyway. Could this man be a more hack-eyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I think either way, that's kind of rude, Sherlomes. I don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right, Mr. Mr. Shlomes? I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on the first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh! I must have complete silence. What is our man gonna do? What are you doing? Why are you bearing at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I've quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, you have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number 1. Your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you're about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh. And number 2, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment, no less in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you've been discovered. Does it not? Ugh. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Shlom's great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive Mr. Shlom's. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? That infallible twaddle? Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. It's like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Shlom's conclusions were right. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So I do cordially invite you into a journey of logic discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Yay! The great deduction. The game is afoot. Which is consequently, I believe also the name of the song is The Game is Afoot. Okay. So the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously, which catches the eye in the first place. Spotlight. Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now, we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring at us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away your copious beard you sport. Now moving on. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed the light on the matter. Shock. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article. Which it would appear you have also read, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification that the evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary villain Borvos Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. His face doesn't match that one. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Old man's identity, a revolutionary on the run. Topic 2. Wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ha! And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the figurative glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. And with what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless tout de lait betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your fricative glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. But there is another, more stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Norvik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Oh my gosh. Well, ballet lady. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolin Palova. Yeah. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elemensky. Posy man. Posy man. Susato. It's just thinking. Ryunosuke has no words. Susato-san. That wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about. Was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Would you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. And I'm doing a different accent again. Ah! I thought I saw a cat. I did not. In real life. Off screen. You cannot see. No perceive. Yes. I recall our discussion earlier. At the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like the man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing. The part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed. A truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance. Is too small. Clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case. Even if you pushed really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out of the case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Schlomes. Look, this whole thing is turning out to be into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something occurred to me about Mr. Schlome's deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea of a little might be a little off itself, Miss Susato. Just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some key words in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. I feel as if we could do that. We've unlocked the true genius of Mr. Schlome's great deductions. Precisely. Though that was going through my own mind. Man, this is going to be a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrist. My wrist? Nope. Ah! What? Where are your handcuffs? Huh? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Schlomes, you are a marvel. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I am not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Sherlock Schlomes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. I can't the pose. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Schlomes. Topic 1, old man's identity. Okay, I'm gonna skip this because it is mostly things we've been over and get to the parts where are going to be different. Numerous pair of shears in your hands. So possibly one for the implement. Okay. Talking about using the shears for, yeah, copious beard. That's wrong. Oh, right. This is gonna be annoying. I'm going to be moving back and forth so much. Ah! I'm not gonna make myself too much bigger. You know what? I'm just gonna hang out by Ionosuke here. I'm too small, but that's okay. I'm gonna have to move a bunch. I'm not sure. Do you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. But it doesn't quite sit right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san, and see if that helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I I wonder if it's really his beard he intends to use those shears on. Exactly. If we do manage to find something that fits the sense of Mr. Schlome's deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Let me also put the chat down a little bit more. So Susato's face is covered up. There we go. Now we can see her. Hello there, Susato. Why am I the one doing something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in the last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? Get a look around. Oh, jeez. Oh. That's up, down, okay. Alright, okay, getting a feel for the controls. Golden locks. What is this? It looks like a cascade of stunning gold locks. No. Color is not the point. The point is, what is it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? How is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. It's so stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here. It's probably that. Oh wait, you have to push something else. Hold on. Let me uncover the... Oh yeah, present. Okay, so gotta push X again. Alright. Yes! Ah! I need to move again. Oh, hello, Ryunosuke. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks, you sport. Indeed. You have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. Exclamation point for Roylott. Not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. No. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then, Vig, is this. Why would you decide to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Again, the answer's plain. You have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Yeah, and then he brings up the newspaper. Yeah, that's not the revolutionary. This doesn't even make sense now. I gotta move again. Whee! Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man was really a young woman disguised, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room, deducing the facts with Mr. Schlomes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I am not having fun or anything. This is strict business. Strictly... Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on the next part of Mr. Schlome's deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true. Given that Mr. Roylott is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needs to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Yes, the ballerina. Alright, I'll do my best. How do I get... Oh, wait. Okay, so it has this. Yes! Ah, great, that's loud. Ah. Hello. I feel very small of all of a sudden. Alright, back over here. Are you quite Wait. Are you quite concentrating? You've identified exactly what I did originally. Oh, yes. So I have, sorry. Well, I do understand, as amenable as I am. People do like to try. She won't make a great detective like that. Not even a great detective's assistant. Okay. Why do you know like the paper? Oh, do I have to read it again? Or... Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna skip through that. Yeah. Is it a separate thing? Oh, do I have to look at it? It's on the back. That's why I handed the paper. We just went over this. Oh, and I have to look at it to change the evidence. Yeah. Yeah, the ballerina. Well, no, I mean it... Oh, wait. Susato said that... Oh, Naruhodo, did you find something of relevance? Well, no, I mean it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She's very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. Can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Shlomes. You don't know the half of it. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of Novorich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Pavlova. My gosh. Names are hard. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? Because they're hard to say. Let alone remember. Ah. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000? Oh wait, this is Naruhodo. I thought it was Susato because she showed up, and no, it's Naruhodo. Whoops. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. I have no idea either. Susato's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novorich Ballet. It would seem the director is besides herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? Does not seem to be the Russian thing. It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. You know 2 people. Yeah, it had to change the papers. Okay. Or does that make it? No, it made a separate one. Okay. Yes! Now I can actually do the correct thing. Alright, there we go. The evidence that reveals your true identity, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right. You've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novorich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we're finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novorich Ballet prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Oh, down she goes. Hi. Careful with those things are sharp. Jeez, they just went right through. Oop. Goodbye, beard. Hello there. Adorable. You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean Nikolina Pavlova. please, I beg you. Don't tell anyone. She's adorable! Ballerina on the run. The old man's identity. Wrongdoing. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. That's probably not right. I mean, that's the ballerina. Yeah, second conclusion. We're gonna change it. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. Nova. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have parented their eyes stray, you see. Ah. I assure you that I speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the figurative glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, the traveling case. And that is not right. I need to move over again. Hello, you two. This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside the traveling case as well. No, that's right. It seems that she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, just the crime the young woman is apparently committing. Ah, I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Shlom's? Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else that shows what this woman is up to. Oh. I imagine it's that. I'm just going to present this. Yes! It's the tiara, isn't it? Yup. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Ah! I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich ballet, is it not? Right on her head in the picture. Indeed. It appears to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Ah! Oh, she's so distressed. There, girly. I have no one. No family, no friends. I'm all alone. And I need money. I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from... How do you say? An arrow? An arrow? Of Prussia. It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old, and she's a runaway all by herself. She must be extremely lonely. Alright, I will tell you everything. There's no point in hiding it now. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You may have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonably to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I shall have a very good idea of the contents of your case even before I have even laid eyes on them. Dear me. We are not so well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your cars, dial, whatever, how you pronounce that? Pretty sure that's French. I'm not pronouncing that. Once again, we only need to follow your figurative glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written on the books on the shelves. No, it is not. You completely changed the track with his deduction now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances. Don't you? Maybe. Why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? Just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And there must be somewhere in the same area if that's where her case was involuntarily drawn. I agree. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case, it should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Well, it was something small. This thing... What was that? Small picture. I don't think it's that. There is a small creature inside that case if the wiggling around before is anything to go by, so it probably has to do with either stowaways or pets that this was warning about. There's certainly something alive in there. Yes! Shuffle over. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. Yeah, there's something in there that's definitely alive and definitely can move. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time. No weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Not in this era. Which leaves us but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case... It's the last item it listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet. They're both so smug. Ah! You've been cheese picking a rat. Right on the money with that one. Not kidnapping a ballerina is the wrongdoing, but possession of a prohibited animal. Animal. Deduction complete. Elementary! I love the little poses. The little silhouettes. It's great. So, clearly, you aren't who you said you were. No, I'm not Grimsley Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconding during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later, that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. It couldn't have been easy. The Burya is a huge steamship with a vast crew. She really have snuck on board without being noticed. You did. In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That venerable tinkering of a bell? None other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how you say, disguise myself, so no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man I see. Nods. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper. Right on the page, there's a picture of me. I was so frightened. I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand, and at that present moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Right, you still you still have too much energy, do you, Schlones? Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that from time to time. Those two even talking about the same thing. There's just one thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have in your traveling case? You were right. It's my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew, your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. Yes, alright. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something Mr. Shlome's great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. Just not entirely sure what. At least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes, what? Observe your wrists. And he's in cuffs again. Ah! Your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When? And why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, can't be helped at the moment. Can it really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on with not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma wrote about in his diary really was. Okay, even though I think we're pretty close to an end thing, it's pretty past time I would normally stop. So I'm going to have to preemptively stop here. It's almost been 3 hours and my voice is killing me. I need to go drink something warm. So I'm gonna have to call it here for both the stream, and that is also the last stream this week. So, if you have been enjoying this all, yeah, honey tea does sound nice. Ooh, I have a few teas. I wonder which one I should use. I will do my best for their Fugu. But, okay. I will be doing more Ace Attorney. Let's see. Let me pull up my little calendar here quickly. I should have streams next week, but the week after that, I might have a shorter week next week too. Or not. I'm not really sure. But it is. I will be having a little bit of a break over certain holidays, probably until after New Year. But then that is also getting very, very, very close to my first anniversary on January 13th, if memory serves me correctly. Forgive me, it's nearly been a year. But in any case, I really do have to end the stream right here. So if you did like this stream, please leave a like. I very much appreciate it. And if you've been liking my streams or want to see more of this series as it comes out, because I will be playing more of The Great Ace Attorney, consider subscribing so it's a little bit easier to keep track of. You don't have to though, but I would very much appreciate it. And feel free to leave comments if you are like watching on this on VOD and have something to say or just want to be like, give a little thumbs up or something in the comments section. I don't know. Put a bunch of... do they have a tiara emoji? I think they might. You can put emojis for our poor little ballerina lady. Leave some like gems or something for her poor little ballerina lady. She's definitely not having a good time. If she has to run away and disguise herself, she's very scared of something. But we'll see what it is later. And honestly, I don't really remember. This is why I'm happy to play this again. It's been a while since I played and I don't remember things. But in any case, that is a wrap for this stream and this week. And I will have to be saying bye-bye. And I hope to see you all later.